family.
Oh, Minka.
And after that amount of time, you think that they're gone.
Well, what's heartbreaking but also good is that Minka stayed in the same place, in the rest stop. Isn't that crazy? For like 6 months, did not like wander all over the place. Very glad for that family to have Minka.
Yeah.
It's great news. Hopefully she's not scared of wind and rain and snow.
No, wind and rain. Oh my, I thought you were going to say. We've got a little bit of everything on the way, except most areas that we're hoping for a white Christmas are not going to have that.
Sorry, Minka.
Sorry, Minka. Let's take a look at your weather headlines and really break this down into parts. Overnight is the peak of the event, torrential rain and potentially damaging winds, especially between around 3 o'clock in the morning and right around daybreak. The heaviest rain ends early, likely before or around 8 o'clock in the morning. After that, we'll continue to see gusty winds and scattered showers into the early afternoon before things come to an end. Coastal flooding will peak Friday morning, right around high tide, and this will be followed by a rapid drop in temperature between around 3 to 6 p.m. Temperatures will go from highs in the 50s down to below freezing over a relatively short period of time, and that could result in icy spots. So there's a lot going on here. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is that when you see a southeasterly wind, it can actually cause more damage than a northeasterly wind. And one of the reasons why is because trees are braced for northeast winds. They kind of build their structures and their roots to support them because that's normally where our strong winds come from. So sometimes a southeasterly wind can take down more trees than a northeasterly wind. But what does help us is that we don't have any leaves on the trees. So I'm thinking scattered outages across the state. For most of the state, gusts between 45 to about 55 miles per hour. But there could be gusts up to 60 in some areas, and that's most likely in eastern Connecticut, southeastern Connecticut, the immediate shoreline, and the higher elevations on the western slopes of the Berkshires in Litchfield County. Let's take a look at wind gusts, and as we head through the coming hours or so, we're seeing them steadily increase, but they really start to come up as we head towards and after midnight. That's when we're seeing some of those higher ones, and especially towards daybreak. And then there will be one additional push of winds in the early afternoon as the cold front comes through. After that, it's still windy right into the evening, but I think the worst of the winds are over as we head into the mid to late afternoon hours. Taking a look at the radar, you'll see it's really filled in with rain, but our storm really hasn't fully wound up just yet. So we're kind of just getting started here as it rapidly drops in pressure. We've got another storm here around the Great Lakes, and my goodness, this cold front, you might have heard about it. It dropped the temperature a record amount. Just 5 minutes, temperatures are dropping 30 degrees. We're not expecting that here, but it has a history of doing some wild things. You can clearly see where it's located, 56 in DC and 10 below in Minneapolis. So tonight, here's that rain filling in overnight. Again, coming down at a heavy rate, maybe even waking you up early tomorrow morning with a rumble of thunder. Now, after 8 a.m., there's that lull in the activity. Then the cold front comes through, and that will drop those temperatures. I can't rule out a snow shower, and here is something interesting. Could New London and Groton be the only areas that have a white Christmas? That would be so backwards. But look what happens as we head into later tomorrow night and Saturday morning. The air is so cold, we actually could see Long Island snow effect snow showers. It's a long shot, but there's a chance. So those temperatures tumble as we head through the late afternoon, and I had to show you this before we go to the 7-day forecast. We're talking about sub-zero wind chills heading into Saturday morning, and even by Saturday afternoon, it doesn't get much better. We're seeing wind chills in the single digits for much of the day on Christmas Eve. So it's going to be a cold one this year. High temperatures will be right around 20 degrees and will be in the mid to upper 20s for Christmas Day. But at least the weather is quiet heading home from some holiday destinations this weekend, guys.